In this video we will run through the Sunsynk Connect app on a mobile device. In the plant section of the app you will see your system. Select your system by tapping on the box. You will then see the overview page. At the top you can see the current power coming from the solar array. The capacity is the maximum power output from the system. Energy today, month, year and total are the solar production figures that the inverter has recorded. The power flow chart shows where the energy is flowing in the property. In the top left is the solar symbol, 606 watts. In the top right is the grid, 659 watts. In the bottom left is the battery power, 2.6 kilowatts. And the property usage, 3.681 watts or 3.6 kilowatts. At present on our test system, the load in the property is 3.6 kilowatts. Generation purpose shows the consumption from the grid, the amount of export back to the grid and the amount of battery charging. Energy today matches up to the solar production for the day. The generation chart shows the power flow through the system over the course of each day, month, year or a total figure. You can jump back through the days by pressing the arrow below the day marker, and also you can select the banner below and pick individual days. If you select the month view, you will be able to see the energy produced and consumed in the property, also the import and export from the grid. Selecting individual days will update the figures above. So for example, on the 18th of this month, the PV produced 5.2 kilowatt hours. The import was 0.4 kilowatt hours. Selecting the year view allows you to see the individual months. So in February and January you can see the amount of energy that was consumed and produced from the solar on our test rig. Selecting total shows you the years. Once again on this display you can tap on the year to see how much energy was produced and consumed. Scrolling down on the app, there's some additional information including a weather forecast, an investment return calculation which can be configured for your system, energy conservation which states effectively the CO2 reduction, sulfur dioxide reduction, the number of trees equivalent that have been planted since the installation and the saving in terms of coal. Selecting equipment on the app will show your inverter's serial number. Tapping on the box with the inverter serial number will allow you to see all the parameters of the system. Output is the AC output, so you can see the current, the voltage, the power and the frequency on the grid side there. On the input section you'll be able to see the solar production. There are two trackers on this inverter, so two DC solar inputs. At the moment on this installation there's only one string connected and we can see the current once again, the voltage 198 volts and the power that that's producing 558 watts. The other sections also show information about the battery, the grid, loads in the property, an event log and a custom section which can be configured to show a considerable number of different parameters. Detail shows the inverter details including the software version or the firmware version of the inverter. To access the settings for the inverter, tap on the three dots to the right hand side of the inverter's serial number. Select Settings. The battery settings are configured at the point of installation. The system mode settings can be used to adjust grid charge timing and target state of charge. Grid settings, auxiliary load, basic settings and advanced settings are all set up during the installation process. If your inverter is beeping, select basic settings and ensure that the beeper is in the off position and press save. So that's a basic run through of the Sunsynk app and how to configure the settings. For any queries, we're more than happy to help and run through configuration of the system.